Hello and welcome back. Today I'm very excited to present a program that's relatively new to me. So I'm very excited to have Richard Bell, who's the Executive Director of Kids First Initiative, as well as many other projects, which I hope we'll learn about today, and Principal Colleen Stevens from the Early Childhood Elementary School in Hamtramck. Welcome to you both.
Thank you for having us.
And I'm kind of curious, I'd like our viewers to know how you both came to where you are professionally. So Richard, let's start with you. How did your career start? And a very interesting one, I might add.
I'm a product of Pontiac Schools. I was always stressed to me by my parents and the people at the school to go off to college. So I went off to West Los Angeles Junior College for 2 years, the University of Alabama, where I continued to play football after leaving Alabama. Went over to Germany for a while, and I decided to come back home.
In the service in Germany?
Not in the service, playing football, actually.
Oh.
It was my first time getting a check for playing football and doing something I love to do. And when that time came to an end, I was glad that I was able to come back and work in the community that gave me my start.
So you came back and have been working in Pontiac?
Yes, ma'am, for the past 14 years.
And from what I understand, you have multiple jobs as well as the Executive Director of Kids First Initiative.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I'm an independent security contractor, so it allows me to work at Park West Art Gallery. It's a lovely place. I work part-time for the Detroit Police Department as a reserve police officer and substitute teacher, coach in Pontiac school districts. So I like to work, and we like to share that with our young people. Hard work tends to build character.
You're a great role model.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Colleen, tell us a little bit about your professional background.
Okay, well, I graduated from Bloomfield Hills, Andover, so out in
No
this
kidding.
area.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I only spent my senior year there, but my family still owns a house here. Went to Eastern Michigan University, got my Bachelor's of Science there in education. And
Great education program.
yes, I do have a real good program. And I didn't get a teaching job right away, but eventually I had a teaching job at a Catholic school in Detroit, St. Suzanne's. I don't believe it's in existence anymore. I taught 5th and 6th and 1st grade when I was there. Then I had 2 children, and like a year apart, and so I left education for a while, but shortly after I had my 2 kids, I did open a child care center in Walled Lake, which I had probably for 20 years, and times changed. I sold that and I went back into teaching. I taught kindergarten for a charter school for 5 years. Then I was promoted to an assistant principal and ended up getting my master's degree when I was in my 50s, and am now the principal for Hamtramck Public Schools.
So how did the two of you connect, Principal and Kids First Initiative?
Well, my husband is a reserve officer in Sylvan Lake, and through Richard's many jobs, they connected, and he put us, together, and he told me about what Richard was doing, and then Richard was interested in working in Hamtramck with our kids.
And what is it that Kids First does?
We're a community empowerment organization, and when I say community empowerment, we empower the community by educating the young people. That's really what's going to help sustain the community, is the young people. Unfortunately, the people who are older are going to be moving on sometime at some point, and it's the young people that's going to help sustain that. So we engage them on 4 levels. At the elementary level, we work with them on health and fitness, Fit and 15 program. At the
And
middle,
do you go into all the elementaries in Pontiac?
Anywhere we're invited at, and we've been in all the elementary schools in Pontiac doing different programs, bringing in healthy snacks, things along those lines, working with them on a Fit and 15 program to stay healthy, providing them with hats and gloves for the winter time. So more of a health and wellness type of situation for the younger kids to make sure they're taken care of.
And does the school have to invite you in?
Well, typically what we'll do, we'll go out and we'll seek out a school that's in need, or a school district that's in need. Sometimes the school districts contact us, and we'll go out as long as we have the supplies to go out and support them. We'll go out to the different schools. On a middle school level, we tend to work with the kids on behavior modification, more mentoring. They're at the stage then where they tend to be thinking or seeming like they are grown and things like that, so they just need to be redirected on their behavior and their attitudes and things along those lines. So we have a lot of success with that through our mentoring program. It's called Future Stars. We feel that given the opportunity and they have access to the resources with the proper guidance and tutelage that every young person can be a star, and that's why it's called the Future Star. So we had a lot of success with that program in the Pontiac schools, and we transplanted that to different, every time we go to a different school, whether it be South Carolina, where I just got back from doing our necktie workshop, where we show the young people how to properly, and young ladies also, I must say, how to properly tie up neckties and talk to them about jobs, being positive, staying out of trouble, and things along those lines. At the high school level, we work with the kids on career pathways. We want them to be working, thinking about getting into college, going to the military, or getting some type of skilled trade, and also what do they want to do once they finish with high school and they go off to training. Not if they go off to training, but when they go off to training. So we work on the assumption that every young person can, should, and will be going off to college, trade school, 2-year school, or into the military. At the college level, the kids tend to want just the extended support. When we say extended support, they're pretty much young adults by then, so they're just looking for the support as far as monetary and some counseling and things along those lines. So we follow them through their career pathways. It starts in the elementary level and it finishes up when they graduate from college. So I'm happy to say that we have some young people now who are in college, some young people who are done with college, some of them have done well, some of them haven't done so well.
That you started with the beginning? Yes,
we have a young man, I'll mention his name now because he's a college student, DeMonte Warner. I met him initially when I was substitute teaching and coaching over at Lincoln Middle School. And I'll never forget when he came out, he had a broken leg, he was a smaller kid, undersized, and I was thinking in my mind, this kid is not going to help us out on the football team, but we want to give him a chance, to give him a try. He came out, he turned out he was a pretty decent football player, great young man, a great person. He got separated from his mother because of some family issues 2 weeks before the semester was over with. I said, wow, why would they do this to this young man, take him out of the home? He got adopted by a family up in Grand Blanc, and he was very distraught about that and things along those lines. He ended up, though, doing well in Grand Blanc. I went to go visit him a few times. We took some of the students that he went to school with at Lincoln Middle School up to Grand Blanc to visit him. Pretty nice home, actually, he was living in. And I said, well, it's not a bad situation. And then so he ended up getting a scholarship, and now he's at Ferris State University on a full scholarship, playing football. And so I stay in contact with him every now and then, not as much so as I used to, because he has a great foundation that he got, not just from our program, but from some of his family and friends. He's doing well, so he doesn't need our help as much. But he does contact me every now and then, and then we want him to come back and share with the other young people how he's doing and some of the things he went through. He had a broken leg all the way up to, it was cast on his hip. And a smaller, undersized guy, now he's starting up at Ferris State, track and football, and I might say on an academic scholarship and not just sports.
That's great.
So
what a success story. Well, how long have you been doing this, that you've had kids in the program this long?
14 years since I've been in the district. We officially got recognized as a 501(c) in 2006. When I was playing football, our coaches required us to wear shirt and ties and be clean shaven, so we wanted our young people to do the same thing, so we went out and got them some professional ties. At the time, unfortunately, we were not winning at Lincoln Middle School. A lot of that had to do with the coaching. It was a learning curve for us, so we wanted to do some other things so the kids can have some positive attention. And one of the things is to make sure they're properly dressed. When you look good, you feel better about yourself. You feel good about yourself.
And you communicate. Appearance is very important in the professional workplace, and you communicate an attitude for your workplace and for yourself. I am a strong believer in that as well. But how does Richard come into your school?
Well, we connected, through my husband Al, and I believe you expressed an interest to maybe coming out to Hamtramck, and then we emailed and we talked, and Richard said he could come out and provide some holiday meals for our families because almost everybody in the community is needy. I think that we're probably the poorest district in the state of Michigan. So we set up a date, and Richard came out to the school, and he had his uncle come with him that particular day, so he had some family support too, and they brought in meals for the families to take home. I think that Richard's also done some sit-down dinners. I know for a fact that he has, but ours was
what does that mean, sit-down dinner?
Well, in Pontiac, they came in and ate, didn't they?
They did.
So a family from Hamtramck came over?
We didn't have a family, but we had, and the reason why, it's a challenge to get into the schools. And as a person working in education for 14 years, you can't just let anybody in your schools. So I understand that, so I really appreciate Mrs. Stevens allowing us to come into her schools. So when we say a sit-down dinner, it's our show dinner. It's our big show piece where we invite all the families in from different locations into one spot, and we really just overwhelm them with food, joy, and giving. So they'll get a basket to take home so they can enjoy way. I want to spend the time with my family too, not with some people, some strangers necessarily, so they get the basket they can take home, but a warm dinner also. And we were very excited to have the support from so many of the people in the county, in the district, outside of the district. And I want to thank Commissioner Scott and also former Clerk Bullard for crossing party lines and supporting our organization financially and with their time coming out, because when you're in need, you don't care about political affiliation and things along those lines, and so nobody tends to care. So they crossed the party lines and they came out and they supported monetarily. They came out. Debbie Stabenow came out. That's huge to have her come out to our event. She's representing the whole state. Congressman Peters. I want to thank you for monetarily, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but writing a check to support us, and we're outside of your district. And then some of that money was used to go out and find the schools like Hamtramck, one of the poorest schools districts in there. So we went to them. We didn't wait on them to come to us. We went to them. A lot of people couldn't make it because they didn't have cars and things along those lines. I can't feel comfortable sitting at home and having a nice dinner, eating my turkey and my ham, and knowing that people out there who are going without, and we can do something about it, because I've been given and blessed so much through people who helped me out and been able to work. So.
Richard, you're an amazing young man, and it's so easy to be inspired by the work that you do. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and talk about some of the other really special programs that you've implemented with Kids First Initiative. We will be right back, and I'm so excited to introduce my district and the television audience to your program, because I do think there's a lot of people that would be watching that would be inspired by the work that you do. We'll be right back.
The perfect home landscape. We want it. So we mow and we spray. We mow and we spray. We mow and we spray. But did you know that our rivers and lakes become polluted when pesticides and yard waste is dumped or washed into a storm drain or ditch? Remember, storm drains lead straight to our rivers and lakes. Help keep our water safe and clean. Use pesticides sparingly. Keep yard waste out of storm drains and ditches. And leave grass clippings on your lawn. Together we can keep our water clean. It's our water, our future, ours to protect.
Welcome back. I'm here with Richard Bell, who's the Executive Director of the Kids First Initiative, as well as many other things. Richard is a nonstop go-getter and a very inspirational young man who's really has a gigantic heart and is concerned about people everywhere in what they have and what they don't have and how he can help. And Colleen Stevens, who's the principal at the Early Childhood Elementary School in Hamtramck, and we're looking at their connections and how Richard has really crossed over communities into the Hamtramck community. And tell us a little bit about some of the programs that Richard was involved in your area.
Okay, well, Richard came out and did a holiday dinner in November for our families, and that was the first time that we ever connected. And he fed, I believe, 20 to 30 families. He provided them with chicken, vegetables, and anything that would go into a meal for them to take home for the holidays. And what really impressed me the most was that a lot of our families eat halal food, which is for a lot of our Bengali and Arabic families. It's Muslim, and it has to be prepared a certain way. And Richard went out of his way to make sure that those families had meals that they could actually eat. So he contacted, I believe, a butcher in Hamtramck.
Yes, ma'am. On Conant Street.
On Conant Street, and they provided him with enough halal chickens so that our families that ate halal could have the kind of food that they wanted. So that really impressed me. When he came out, he had music going for the families. He set the atmosphere. He set the mood. At the end, the kids were given ties because he wants them to know professionalism is important, throughout their whole life. So I'm hoping that next year that we can expand, and Richard has talked about this to me a little bit, and reach out to more of the people in the community, and possibly in our other schools. We have 3 other elementaries. We have a middle school, we have a high school, we have an alternative education school as well, which I think you would be good at reaching out to them, and maybe doing something in our community center that's a little bigger, if he's up to it, which I'm sure he is.
And It doesn't surprise me that Richard would find out the particular eating habits of a group, of an ethnic group, because you do pay attention to detail. And that's a very successful trait.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the Career Pathways program that you're involved in.
Career Pathways program, we feel wholeheartedly is very important for the young people to get started at an early age, thinking about what they want to do as they get ready to transition out of the school life into the working professionals. So we engage young people to help them become productive citizens. Our Career Pathways program, we want them to come in and see how the work they're doing in the classroom today is related to the STEM and STEAM jobs of the future. The past few years, people have thought they had to move out of the state of Michigan because of jobs, but they don't. STEM jobs, or STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. Those jobs, Michigan is going to be looking to hire 247,000 in the next 4 years. 247,000
in those particular
careers.
area.
And when you think about that, science, technology, the arts, engineering, that incorporates everything, every aspect of our life. The kids spend so much time playing the video games, so we're letting them know, stop playing the games all the time and learn how to develop a game. So Microsoft is going to come out for our career pathway, and they're going to come out, they're going to teach the kids some coding. So it's going to be an all hands-on activity at our career expo that we're going to be hosting coming up soon here. So I want to take this time right now to invite Mrs. Stevens. I'm hoping we can get a group of students to come down from Hamtramck Public Schools. We're going to supply them, provide them with snacks, healthy snacks, some food. We're going to have some music. It's going to be a fun time, a fun event, not the regular old job, a career type of fair event, because it's fun when you're doing something that you like, and we want to make sure it's an outstanding, over-the-top event for the young people.
And you know that we have a government youth day in Oakland County, so
Yes.
we would love to have you bring some kids or to contact some teachers that might want to expose children to how government works.
Well, not to put you on the spot, ma'am, but since I have you here, if you don't mind, we would love to have a young person out there, a particular young person out there to be able to come in and maybe job shadow you as a county commissioner or some way type of form for one day. They can put that on their resume and things like that. And they always come in. That would be outstanding for one young person out there from a different program, not necessarily from Pontiac, or they could be from Pontiac, somewhere outside of the country, from somewhere out there, just to come in and get some professional experience. We want them to connect them with professional people. We teach them how to network. One of the things we do with our necktie programs, we show the young ladies and the young men. And the young ladies tend to pick up because they're more mature. The young men hate when I say this. They pick up faster than the young men do. I just got back from St. John's High School in Charleston, South Carolina on Tuesday, and the students were wonderful down there. All the students down there, the schools, they have iPads. It's a Title I school, they all have iPads.
You're kidding.
Teachers, principals, everyone. I said, hold on a second. I think we have a little bit more money here in Michigan. Why don't we have iPads for all the students? So it was very interesting to see the students who were actually coming from a lower economical background. But you couldn't tell
That's how
by
they
their
use their
behavior.
title money. Yeah.
You couldn't tell by their behavior, though. They were very well-mannered, and I had a wonderful time down there.
And so
South
did they invite you? How did that happen?
Well, it was a former teacher, Darwin Shorters. He's a math teacher. He used to teach in Pontiac and used to coach in Pontiac, and he's down there teaching. And so we're always looking for schools where there's a need at, and then normally where we can go in. And when I say we, I'm just the face of Kids First Initiative. I have a whole team, a great board. I have a whole group of people that constantly work with me. Anytime someone does anything with Kids First Initiative, we consider them as a member of the Kids First Initiative. So now you're a member of Kids First Initiative. Mrs. Stevens is a member of Kids First Initiative. And then so we call upon them from time to time, not to help me out. I'm okay and I'll be okay as long as I'm able to continue working. But it's for the young people. The young people are our future. They're going to be running things one day. So we had to take heed to make sure we're properly investing in them, because they're going to be taking care of us one day. So if we don't make a proper investment in them, with them, we won't get a good return back. We have this system called care, structure, and discipline. If the young people know that you care, they'll listen to you. They'll accept your discipline. If you have some structure, for most times, that's the only consistency they have during their day. it's the time they spend with you. And then also the discipline. I don't care what other people are doing. I know this is what we're going to do over here. You're going to pull your pants up. You're going to put a shirt and tie on. You're going to get the door for a lady. We're not going to use improper language. You're going to have a job. We're going to follow the rules. I don't care who you are. Everyone has to answer to someone. And everywhere we went, whether it's been over in Windsor, Ontario, I'm glad that we were able to take our program over there because of the support with the holiday meals and the neckties. Denver, Colorado, Toledo, Ohio, it's been the same response at the end of the day from the young people. And we've been in some areas where it's been a challenge, and I tell you, I'm never afraid. Sometimes I'm concerned, though. And some of the areas I've been in, it was a rough group. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. They're not adults, they're kids. Sometimes, unfortunately, they might be in adult situations, but they're just kids in adult situations and dealing with adult situations. So we had to treat them as such. They want some direction, they want discipline, they want the structure. They're looking for the structure. They'll respect you at the end of the day if you come with them with some structure. But you have to care. They had to see that you care. Because so many times in their lives they've been let down by so many different people. And that's what we're able to bring. We're always looking for qualified, when I say qualified, not necessarily a degreed person, but someone who cares, someone who has a skill to offer. Everyone is not going to a 4-year school. I wish they would. I went to Alabama. It was a great college experience for me. I'm still on scholarship today. I like to say it with my parents. They're still supporting me today. But it's a great experience for some young people. I was talking to the mayor of Highland Park, and he said, the young people, if something is going on, they'll run right to that situation no matter what it is. They're very brave. And so we just have to redirect that behavior and get them into the Army. If you go into the Army now and you're very brave and throw yourself on a grenade, you'll get a Medal of Honor out here. Or something like that happens. So we just have to redirect what they're doing and things along those lines. So we have some very intelligent young people, very brave young people, very engaging young people. They just need a little bit of attention. And then so I think some of that has fallen along the wayside. So we engage them through what they're comfortable with. Technology. They use technology all the time. So we want them to put down some of the young people who are out here, they're in gangs, and they're carrying weapons. And so we have this program. I went to D.C. and met with Congressman Gary Peters about put down your gun and pick up some technology. So it's a gun buyback, but instead of receiving some cash, they'll receive a tablet computer in exchange. Because
that's great.
we feel...
That's an amazing... Is that in effect here?
And so this is in effect. We've been looking for some funding to help get it off the ground. To get it up and running, and then so I said looking for some funding. We're a 501(c), so we're always looking to get some donations. More so than a donation, though. If you gave us $1 million, when that $1 million is gone, our relationship is gone. So we're looking to build relationships, and they last a lot longer than anything else. It's the summertime is coming up, and they're talking about it's going to be an extremely hot summer. We want to make sure it's a hot summer because of the temperature and the weather, and not because of some nonsense or some foolishness with some gunplay. So we're going to get the program started up, and it's called Put Down a Gun and Pick Up Some Technology. You don't need a gun. That's what police officers are for. You pay them through your taxes to take care of that kind of business. You need technology if you're going to be successful in today's time and age. And so I'm very excited that we're able to take our young people over to Windsor and visit to the university and visit the campus over there. It's a global economy. We want our kids to be prepared, so it's so close in proximity. And things along those lines. So I'm just very blessed and fortunate to be able to work with fine people like Mrs. Stevens. We want to do some work out here in Bloomfield. I'm a substitute teacher. I have been in the district for 14 years, coaching. I know the kids, can interact with the kids. I'm cleared to get into the schools. I understand you can't just let anybody in your schools. She took a chance on us, or let me into her schools. I know her husband. She didn't know me, though. No. We came in, but we did well with the kids. We're looking forward to going back next year. We're willing and able to go to any school. Out here in Bloomfield, the kids tend to be a little bit better off financially, but who's to say they can't benefit from us showing them how to tie a necktie up, helping them with their resume, properly preparing them for their interviews and things along those lines. Even with the young ladies, they say, Mr. Bell, what about us? And so we work with the young ladies also, helping them to get into jobs, get prepared for going to college, encouraging them to do the right thing at all times. It's a Latin saying called carpe diem. Seize the day. The time is now. The time is now. What our young people suffer for more than anything else is self-confidence. Self-confidence. So we help to encourage them, build their self-confidence up, let them know you can do and be whatever you want to do if you believe in yourself, you're willing to put the work in. Somebody's going to come along one day and say to that young person, they don't know they can't do it until we as adults come along and say, well, you can't do that. That's not realistic. And that's what these STEM jobs help them to do, is be creative. That's what's going to turn America around, get us back on track, and put us back at top again, like we used to be before. The STEM-related jobs.
You know, you have such great ideas and such great passion. You take the breath out of the room because I'm speechless thinking about all the things that you do, and I definitely want to commit on air to helping you
I really appreciate that.
best as I can. I'm thinking I have a lot of ideas of places where I can
That's what
introduce
we
you to
need.
some of your ideas.
We need ideas. We need professional people like you, Mrs. Stevens, and anybody out there listening. Please share with us your ideas. You can contact us, let us know. We can have a lunch. We'll come to you. No matter where you're at, we'll come to you. We're going to Cleveland next month in April for the same necktie program. It's called, we have another program, and it's called The Consequences of Education. Instead of talking about the negative things that will happen if you don't get education, we're going to talk about the positive things that are going to happen when you get education. Not if, but when. Because every young person we come in contact, we're going to try to follow them through to make sure they finish up with their educational process. We're going to Puerto Rico to all autistic school in June. And we're going down there because of the support that we receive right here in Michigan, the training that we got right here in Michigan from people like you, from Mrs. Stevens. So I'm constantly learning. We have a great board. We're looking to grow. We need support as far as people giving us some input on how we can make it better.
Well, Richard, it's been a very inspirational program. I really thank you for all the work that you do.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us and being
No
brave
problem.
enough on having Richard's program in your schools. And hopefully we can get his programs expanded. So you've got a very positive message, and I'm a big supporter of positive ideas and positive thinking. I think that is the way to move forward, and that is the key to the future. So I'd like to welcome all our visitors to check out the website. We will post the website on the screen, and if you're interested in volunteering or hearing more about so many of Richard's initiatives or getting involved in early elementary schools, because as we talked about before, that's really where things start for our kids. So thank you for watching. Contact information is on the screen, and I look forward to seeing you next time.